With your support on November 5th, you know what's nasty to me? Michelle Obama. I always tried to be so nice and respectful. Oh, she opened up a little bit of a box. She opened up a little bit of something. Oh, she was nasty. Ooh. Shouldn't be that way. That was a big mistake that she made.
The world was caught off guard when Michelle Obama, in a highly anticipated interview, revealed shocking truths about the former president's marriage and the effects it had on one of the most famous political rivalries in history. What followed was a moment of pure drama, as Donald Trump, never one to shy away from controversy, erupted in a rare public display of anger. His reaction to Michelle Obama's explosive words would set off a series of events that would shake the political world to its core. The interview, which was broadcasted on a major network, began innocuously enough with Michelle discussing her memoir, her life after the White House, and her work with various charities. But then, the conversation took an unexpected turn. When the host brought up the topic of marriage, specifically the tumultuous marriage of Donald and Melania Trump, the audience was unprepared for what Michelle Obama was about to say. With a calm yet knowing look, Michelle leaned in, giving the interviewer a soft smile before dropping the bombshell.
Do everything they can to distort her truth. My husband and I sadly know a little something about this. For years, Donald Trump did everything in his power to try to make people fear us. See, his limited, narrow view of the world made him feel threatened by the existence of two hardworking, highly educated, successful people who happen to be Black.
People see the Trump marriage as a political union, but there's a lot more to the story. There's a lot that was kept behind closed doors, and it wasn't pretty, she said. I've heard the rumors, but let me tell you, there's a side to that marriage that no one knows about, except for a few of us who were behind the scenes. The words hit like a tidal wave. The media exploded instantly, with reporters scrambling to uncover what Michelle Obama was referencing. The cameras zoomed in on her face, trying to catch any hint of emotion, but Michelle remained composed, her eyes betraying nothing more than the calm confidence that had made her one of the most respected women in the world. But what came next was even more startling. Michelle's revelation went deeper than anyone had anticipated. She spoke about how, during the 2016 election campaign, there were multiple incidents where Donald Trump's marriage was more of a political tool than a genuine relationship.
We have a candidate for president who, over the course of his lifetime, in the course of this campaign, has said things about women that are so shocking that I simply will not repeat anything here today. It has shaken me to my core in a way that I couldn't have predicted. This was a powerful individual speaking freely and openly about sexually predatory behavior and actually bragging about kissing and groping women, using language so obscene that many of us were worried about our children hearing it when we turn on the.
She revealed that Melania's presence at rallies wasn't about support for her husband, but rather about maintaining a carefully crafted public image. Michelle's words suggested that there was tension and dissatisfaction within the Trump household that had been hidden from the public eye. The most jaw-dropping part of Michelle's interview came when she claimed that Melania's mom knew about Diddy's influence over her son. Michelle's revelations were stunning. Donald Trump's marriage to Melania, which had always been portrayed as a glamorous power couple dynamic, was suddenly thrown into question. Michelle continued to explain how Trump used his marriage as a tool, one that would bolster his public persona as a family man, despite the internal struggles that were never visible to the public. He used his marriage to Melania as a political prop, Michelle stated. It was all about optics. He needed the image of the perfect family to win. But behind closed doors, it was far from perfect. And then she went even further, dropping the biggest bombshell of all. She alluded to personal confrontations between Trump and Melania, suggesting that their marriage had been strained for years. Michelle, with a slight but knowing look, said, "There were moments when Melania wanted out. She felt trapped, but like many women in the political world, she stayed, and her reasons were more complex than anyone realized."
these last 8 years. In his first term alone, Barack had to rescue our economy from the worst crisis since the Great Depression. He had to make the call to take out Osama bin Laden, respond to devastating natural disasters like Hurricane Sandy, and so much more. So when it comes to the qualifications we should demand in a president, to start with, we need someone who'll take the job seriously.
The shocking detail was Michelle's insinuation that Melania knew the full extent of Trump's behavior, including his alleged infidelities and his unfiltered comments about women. Melania wasn't blind to it, Michelle continued, her words cutting through the air. She just didn't have a choice. The family had become a machine, and once you're part of that, it's hard to walk away. But she did know. The moment Michelle finished her statement, the internet exploded. Headlines screamed across every platform. Michelle Obama exposes Trump's marriage secrets. Trump's marriage, more than what it appears. The world was reeling from the truth that had been hidden in plain sight for years. Donald Trump's immediate response was a social media storm. Furious.
To you, those folks just aren't very smart and seem somehow less deserving. And if you think this way, then it's easy to see this country as us versus them.
And feeling betrayed, Trump took to Twitter, firing off one explosive post after another. Michelle Obama has no idea what she's talking about. She's just trying to cause trouble. Melania and I have a strong marriage. And she's an amazing woman? This is all lies, Trump tweeted, his words filled with anger and denial. He went on to call Michelle's remarks completely false and said that her comments were merely an attempt to discredit him and his presidency. But Trump's reaction wasn't just limited to Twitter. His political allies and supporters rallied around him, immediately attacking Michelle's credibility.
He knows that no matter how many
Conservative commentators decried Michelle's statements as baseless attacks, calling her comments nothing more than a politically motivated attack on the Trump family. But the damage had been done. The world had now heard Michelle Obama's side, and it painted a very different picture of the Trump marriage than the public had been led to believe. Meanwhile, the media shifted into overdrive. Investigative reporters started digging into Michelle's claims, uncovering hidden details about the Trump marriage that were even more disturbing than anyone could have imagined. Former staff members who had worked with the Trump family started leaking information about the behind-the-scenes tension, heated arguments, and the emotional distance between the couple. Some even claimed that Melania had once confided in close friends about her struggles with the marriage and how she had questioned her role in the political machine that had become the Trump brand.
That being president isn't anything like reality TV. It is not an apprenticeship. And it is not just about fiery speeches or insulting tweets. It's about whether someone can handle the awesome responsibility of leading this country.
As the public fallout from Michelle's comments continued to unfold, Melania Trump remained silent. Her decision to stay out of the fray only added to the speculation. Was Michelle telling the truth? Did Melania's silence mean she was complicit in the narrative Michelle had painted? Or was Melania simply choosing to protect herself and her son from the public drama? Then, in an unexpected twist, Melania broke her silence, not directly responding to Michelle, but with a cryptic social media post that seemed to hint at deeper personal struggles. What people think of me is not as important as what I know to be true. Sometimes silence speaks louder than words, she wrote, leaving the world to wonder whether she was hinting at the secrets Michelle had just revealed. The storm had only just begun, with both Trump and Melania caught in the aftermath of Michelle's revelation. The public was left to wonder how this drama would evolve. Would Trump's marriage survive the revelations? Could the Trumps ever fully recover their political image? And what role did Michelle Obama play in exposing the cracks
and the
in
kind of
one
respect
of the
he
most
couldn't buy
iconic
even if
political
he
marriages
threw
in
all
modern
his remaining
history?
campaign?
The anticipation, the energy, the exhilaration of once again being on the cusp of a brighter day. The chance to vanquish the demons of fear, division, and hate that have consumed us and continue pursuing the unfinished promise of this great nation.